All right, welcome back to No Concession Sessions. We are here for our third podcast with Michael Perdew. He is a talent buyer. He's been on tour with bands before. He's a performer, can DJ, play. Then we have a prodigy, if you will, in Jake Kohn and his father manager, Eric Kohn. We heard a lot about Jake. Everybody was asking me when I'm going to have Jake up here. What Jake's coming back? Is he going to headline? What's happening with Jake? And I was like, oh, what's going on with Jake? I think I saw this guy play here. And he played with Talton Brothers. He opened up. Wonderful voice. And just had to have you on. I saw you on my Facebook feed. Like, there he is. It must be hearing me speak about him. I don't know. The algorithms did their job. So, short invite. You came out. We're going to have Micah here today. But he's down a little bit for the count right now with the Rona. It's making its resurgence for the moment this summer. Whatever.
Womp, womp, womp.
Yeah, forget about it. And then same thing with Michael here coming out short notice. Appreciate it. Executive Chef Chris is in Florida enjoying fruits of his labor.
Hey, good for him.
Shout out to Chris out there. And we're always joined with Curfew, who is our guy, our director in here. So, start with Jake. What's happening, man? How come I know about you? I didn't seek you out. People were telling me all about you. How'd that happen?
I'm not sure. It's sudden. It's really sudden because before this year, everything was kind of slow, but it's been speeding up like really quickly, and it's hard to keep track of everything.
People are starting to take notice now.
Put that mic
For sure.
They really,
That better?
Perfect.
All right.
Jake, how old are you?
15.
Okay. And how long you been performing?
Probably 3 years now.
When did you start playing guitar?
Maybe when I was 11, 12.
He was about 11
Yeah.
when you got your first one.
Mm-hmm.
Do you play, Eric?
No.
So, nobody in the family?
Well, my grandmother gave him her guitar she had in the closet, and because she seen he had a little interest, so she's like, here, I'll give him my guitar, and that's just where it took off.
Right.
My grandma, she could play, and all her brothers and everything, they knew how to play bluegrass, but not me, no.
Right. It's in DNA then.
Yeah, it's definitely there.
My grandfather gave me my first guitar. I'm not good at it, but I tried. And Michael, you're here. I know a lot of people talk to me about you before I met you as well. You get Michael Perdew in here. He's the man, very well liked in the music community. I think you were you in the Midwest, I think, when I first reached out to you? Or?
Possibly. It's hard to say, man. As tour life's kind of, your days turn into mashed potatoes on the road, you know?
So what do you do? What happened? How did you become someone that was on tour? What was your role?
As far as like locally, you know, my brother, he was in the music community pretty thick. You know, when I was Jake's age, 13 to 15, I was going to shows, and he introduced me to a lot of people. And then as I got a little bit older, I started getting into it for my own reasons. I started like blowing glass and going to different festivals and vending. And I kept coming across this one band with a goofy name, Pigeons Playing Ping Pong. And every festival I was at, they were at, and they were like on the come up, so to speak, you know. And every time I'd see them, I'm like, introduce myself, and they'd remember my face, but never remember my name. And probably by the end of summer, I want to say it was like 2011, maybe 2012, they asked if I booked shows, and I did a lot of DIY punk shows, like basement shows, renting out like random like UAW building here in town. So I kind of bluffed. I was like, yeah, I throw shows, but not on their level. Then he hit me up with like a 5-day notice, and we booked it at Blue Fox. Conrad didn't know who I was there, and sold it out with a couple-day notice. And Conrad's like, who the hell is this kid? And Pigeons were the same way. They thought I was some big promoter, so they kept sending me, decent acts. Yeah, we're on the come up, and I just started working with all these different bands in the scene, and then a couple years later, they asked if I wanted to come on the road with them, so I went on the road as their merchandising manager and just met a lot of other, agencies and, management teams, like whatever, different bands, and just kind of rubbing elbows with the right people, right time, right place.
Nice. Having been, here for a couple months, having national acts start to come through, you see those positions, and after a fean minutes. I know their routine and kind of their vibe, and they are really cool with our front of house team and everybody getting things put together.
Y'all have a good team here for sure.
Yeah.
And this right here, like having a shower, game changer, man. You know how many times I would get to a venue and be like, please have a shower or more than one toilet. You know, you got 12 people on a bus and everyone's just like destroying a bathroom on top of each other, a bunch of stinky dudes, you know, or you have a day off and have a hotel room and that's like the place you shower, you know.
Right.
It can be rough on the road.
Yeah, a lot of the riders that we get from bands, they have they want facilities here, production room, things like that, and we can't do everything that they want, but the shower is definitely welcome to everybody using it.
Big plus.
I think it got used multiple times by the same people on Saturday. So, are you ready for all that, Jake?
Yeah, probably.
What's your biggest influence? Like, what's drawn you to want to be in front of people performing?
I guess I'm a songwriter. That's my whole thing is songwriting, and it's a form of expression for me, I guess, is to be able to make something and for people to want to hear it is probably the thing that influences me the most to perform.
And have you recorded professionally yet? Or
not yet.
So everything's just raw.
Yeah.
If they want to hear you, they got to see you live or watch live videos, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Who's in charge of your social media, marketing?
Me.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what formats are you located on?
Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitter. I got everything, really. YouTube's probably the one that has, I guess, pushed my stuff out.
Okay.
Because that's where it all is, really. That's where I started putting stuff out. This was just covers and stuff, and even then, people liked it. The few people that were there liked it, but it's cool to watch how much it's grown after just like 6 months of having it and starting to put originals out and people liking it. It's cool. It's really cool.
Yeah. That's the perks of social media now, and ride that out as long as you can. Like being young and like being able to do everything yourself right now, because like, what's the expression? Like the fish is going to grow as big as its tank. You know what I mean? So as long as you keep doing that, you're going to blow up eventually. You're going to have somebody's going to catch you the right time. They're going to want to sign you. They're going to want to like be your booking agent. And everyone gets a cut, a percentage of what you make. You know what I mean? So as long as you can do that yourself and like really. I mean, even Billy Strings, that's how he did it, and up in Michigan, like, he couldn't tour outside the state for a while, and then as soon as he was able to leave the state, everyone knew who he was because he was big at that time, just from putting out videos on YouTube, playing a friend's basement, Keep doing that, man.
Yeah.
I think it was like probably 2 years ago that I started to listen to a particular band that was really young, and, you kind of get possessive of bands before they blow up if you knew about them. And so I was listening to Greta Van Fleet almost 4 years ago. Are you familiar with them at all?
I don't think so.
You should check it out. So they basically, straight out of high school, like their first big gig was at a big biker rally kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then that just kind of, people heard about it. Kind of like me hearing about you. I wasn't searching for you and just happened to see school kid at play.
Mm-hmm.
It's a natural engagement thing that occurs where people are, again, peer-to-peer speaking on you. That happened to them, and now it propelled their career. So they're a major touring artist now. And they're barely 21, 22 years old, which is crazy.
I think like TikTok really made them go viral, you know what I mean? The vocalist sounds like they sound just like Led Zeppelin kind of,
Mm-hmm.
And they have like their own style, Like
very up here.
Very cool.
Yeah.
But you got the hair already.
Yeah.
You got the look.
Yeah. Have you thought about forming a band?
I have thought about forming a band, but honestly, at this point right now, I don't really need a band. Performing solo works really well for me, and that's pretty much just, I guess that's partially my style, is the rawness.
Sure.
Yeah.
Have you plugged in to electric?
Oh, I mess around with stuff like that, but I have never I've never done anything with it.
Sure.
Yeah.
You have so much to see and do that's going to inspire your songwriting, I'm sure. Love, hate, whatever it is. Experiences that you'll have. So that's awesome. Like, I'd like to see you back here in a few years, like before, and kind of see how you change and develop as a human being. Just a human being that's a man, that's a young man, you know. That's enough transition. But to do it with like all this energy behind you and you know, getting that recognition at such an early age is pretty cool. So what do you think about it, Papa Bear?
I think it's crazy.
Yeah.
He's going like this. He's going. I mean, it blows my mind every time I hear him. Like, he'll be like, "Dad, listen to this song," and I'll be like, "Who wrote that?" Me. That's unbelievable. How can a 15-year-old kid write a song like that breaks your heart? You know,
Yeah.
It gives you goosebumps. It's amazing.
What are you writing about, Jake?
Whatever comes to mind, really. I do a lot of storytelling and fictional stories in some songwriting, in some cases at least. I've said it before to a couple of people. History really influences my songwriting when I'm doing storytelling. I like to write about history. History's always been my favorite subject and stuff, so I like history. And I write a lot about history, like
the Fraterville, Tennessee song. That's
What is it?
epic.
It's
Song.
I wrote a song about the Fraterville, Tennessee coal mining disaster, which was definitely the song that has gotten me to where I am.
I'm unfamiliar with the story. Do you care to share?
May 19th, 1902, in Fraterville, Tennessee, I think it was about 200 miners went into the mine, and very few came out of the mine.
I don't think any of them did.
I think it was like 2, maybe.
It was 2. I think I read up on it after he wrote the song. I kind of Googled.
Homework.
It was like 216 miners went in and everyone died. But some of them lived a couple days and they wrote letters to their families. Mm-hmm. So he reads one of these letters and turns it into a song, and it's just it's cool. It's heart wrenching. It really is.
Wow, man!
It's an awesome song.
I think there was like 219 men in the town at the time. 216 of them died in the mine and just took the whole town.
Yeah, wiped the whole town out. Shoot. There's a lot of parallels to that story to other stories.
Yeah,
that's amazing, man. Michael, so what are you working on now? I know that you presented us with awesome shows that are coming up. Do you want to speak a little bit about I know that you had an amazing show that you helped us with almost a month now, right?
Yeah, probably.
What was that? Sweet Leaf?
Sweet Life. Who else is on there? Mr. Grizzly, Dr. Silicon, and me. I think did I open? Or I went second, yeah. My days, man. Phew. Yeah, that was a good time. It was a really good time. And I don't know if we got that one show coming up. I don't know if that's all right on the, I guess,
you can talk about it.
All right.
Yeah.
We have a Steady Flow. It's a funk band. If you like Lettuce, you'll like these guys. Kind of the same vibe. We got them coming out in September 17th, and Sweet Life will be back. They're going to co-headline, and I'm probably going to open the night up with a short little 30, 45-minute set. We got some stuff going on here. I mean, as far as like booking goes, I haven't been as active as I used to be. That used to be my bread and butter, you know what I mean? I think once I went on the road, I kind of slowed, I wasn't home, so I wasn't really booking much. I would help promote shows, but I was never home. And, COVID happened, I had a kid, and now I'm back to working like a 9-to-5, so to speak, and kind of doing the music thing on the side. I play music as well. Like, listening to you talk, Jake, I mean, that's like inspiration, man. Like, I wish I could write music. Like, I can write music, like orchestrate it, and I play a lot of different instruments, but I can't write lyrically, and it drives me mental, dude. I wish I could write. Like, I can't do that. I can write melodies, like where I want all the way to the cadence of where I want lyrics to be, but I'll write 2 lines, like, it's stupid, rip it up and throw it away. Like, I can't do it.
I do that a lot.
Yeah.
I've probably written like 500 songs.
Really?
They're not all. I have like a line I draw, I guess.
Yeah.
A quality.
I feel like there has to be a line, like a just let it, like, write it, even if you disagree at the moment, like, maybe come back to it, check it out, what I mean?
Definitely.
Not all of them are going to be hits, obviously, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just too much of a perfectionist and judge myself too hard. I don't know. Like, they're stupid. But I have friends who can write really well. And I'm like, maybe we'll find that nice match, you know what I mean? I can write the songs, they can put the lyrics down for me or whatever. I don't know. I don't have that. That's cool, though, man.
500 songs.
Probably.
Freaking impressive.
I write, like, a lot. Yeah.
That's all he does is write songs and play guitar all the time.
I probably have 500
Constant.
beats on my laptop that I make. It's a little different story, but...
Curfew, you make beats too, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, I guess... Like,
shout out DJ Curfew.
Stuff, like dubstep, but it's so, I have probably, like 100 songs that are, like, maybe 30 seconds long, and I'm like, I'll go back to it. I never go back to it. It's literally in a purgatory.
You ever stay up till 5 a.m. being like, this is the one, and you listen to it at 10 the next morning, you're like, this was ass. What was I thinking? What was I thinking?
Definitely in, about like 16, like 17 and stuff. Like, I took an Adderall. I'm like, all right, here we go. I'm like, yo, everyone's like,
putting in work.
Check out this beat. And they're like, well, I'm like, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
It sounded really good last night.
Do you think that, is there a particular subject outside of history that's helped you with songwriting, or any teachers, influencers?
I don't know. Yeah.
Like, what?
He doesn't mean just like people you know as well. Like,
Yeah.
You've got a lot of good people in your corner.
I do.
Has anyone broke your heart yet? So you put a masterpiece out?
Yeah, have you had a heartbreak yet, dude?
No.
Yeah, you don't seem like you've been broken or shaken.
There's something good coming around that,
Right.
I swear.
Yeah, so heartache seems to be like, I guess so. It sounds like you dug deep into finding those heartache stories, and then creating a non-fiction element to it, but also fictional stories as well.
Yeah.
What's the plan now? Do you have a strategy for how you're going to move forward with your career?
Not exactly, but I'm just going to keep doing what I'm doing, I guess. And because
We're
it
just
seems
going
like
with
it's
it.
working, I guess.
Nice.
Yeah.
You just got back from a festival in Kentucky.
Master Musicians Festival.
And then how did you partake in that? Were you able to perform?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
You want to speak on that, what that experience was like?
That was the coolest thing I've ever done. That was really cool. I got to meet so many people. It was so awesome. I had backstage passes because I was playing there, but I got to meet John R. Miller and Eric Bolander, S.G. Goodman. I got to meet a lot of cool people.
Nice.
It was really fun.
And they get to see you perform?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, that's what it takes.
Mhm.
How'd you find out about this festival?
So a long time ago, I posted a Jason Isbell cover in a Jason Isbell fan group, and one of the admins of that group, her name's Ashley Wells. She really she took charge in me, and she got me on the Young Songwriters panel at the Master Musicians Festival.
Nice.
Yeah.
What kind of set did you perform?
I did 2 songs, and they were both original. I did the Fraterville, Tennessee song, and I did a song I have called When You Say You Love Me.
Sweet.
Mhm. It was really cool.
Michael, have you, like in your festival experiences, what do you think are things that maybe even Jake should look at that separates successful, sustainable like careers versus maybe some tough stories about what not to do, so on?
Well, I mean, as a young artist, you know, your mind's on the right path. You're doing everything as you should, and like I said, I would just keep doing that as long as you can. There's you're gonna, you know, people are gonna try to influence you at times. You know, you're gonna make new friends, you're gonna make new connections, and you know, take that with open arms, but, you know, try to keep your head on your shoulders and stick to what's you and what's true to you, because that's what's most important, you know what I mean? You know, if something seems to be, like, in your favor or seems to be the same path or parallel to what you're shooting for, then absolutely, if something inspires you, but don't take something just because somebody wants to, like, they see what you are capable of. Like, don't let some manager come in and be like, you're up next, you know, and then they take a fat cut from you, and they might put you on a good tour for 2 years, and, you know, they end up getting all the creative rights over everything that you do, you know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, partying. You know what I mean? Just stay level-headed, man. Keep your nose to the stone. Just keep moving forward, man. You seem to be like you're on the right path. I'm glad you set this up because I always wanted to meet you too. I saw your name floating around a lot, and yeah, definitely talented, man. Got a hell of a voice.
Thank you.
How'd you get placed on? I know you'll be here next as far as performers here on August 6th with Goodbye June. That's the first show that we're booking outside of a Still of the Woods song that I really like from like someone that I listened to their music outside of this job before I knew about an opportunity to book them. So I think that'll probably be the first show I enjoy as a patron here. Mm-hmm. You know, I get a little wild when the Step Aside song comes on. That shit is banging. How'd you get set up with that show?
So I'm acquainted with Jody Bloomfield, and he controls that Make Country Music Sad Again, and he's the one that does the Monoflow events. And so, yeah, he just told me that I could open for Goodbye June and Nate and Barkus band.
Yeah?
Yeah.
You gonna put anything new out on that night?
Yeah, I am. Probably. I'd usually like to put one new song a set. I try to, at least.
Good goal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if you have a headliner that you're supporting, is there any particular like cover or something you'll add in there to try to hit with the scene? That'll be like a more rock and roll scene that we've had here, you know. Any thoughts on that or any cool covers that you're developing?
I haven't really looked into what I was gonna play yet. I usually make a set list a couple of days before I play the show.
Right.
Because I don't want to have a set list months before the show and then it'll be a couple of days before the show and I'm just trying to change it all up all of a sudden. I don't like all that. So I might as well just do it short notice so I can change it up then.
Sure.
Yeah. But I definitely know that they're more of a Steel Woods type band and Southern rock kind of thing. I got away from the mic. Yeah. But I'll probably do a cover for that style.
Have to do some Winning Skinner.
I might.
Yeah,
you're probably right.
I think you always have to do that too, man. Yeah. I play a lot of acoustic shows myself, and depending on where I'm playing, I always write my set list 2 days prior, you know. And depending on, I just played in Percival on Saturday at Monk's Barbecue, and it's a cool spot. I like playing there a lot, but it's a different crowd, you know, especially if you play early, 7, 8 o'clock, you still have families there eating, and you kind of have to make room for the dinner crowd. You got to play kind of light stuff. My style, I come from a bluegrass family, so I know a lot of traditional stuff, but I also come from a punk rock background. I like taking a bunch of punk songs and making them bluegrass style, or
awesome.
Even pop songs. You know, I think I opened that set up with Heart of Glass, but I made it upbeat, and I like whistle and stuff, kind of like Nick Shoulders. You know, not as good, but I try to hold my own. But, you know, for that show specifically, I had to cater to that crowd. It's Northern Virginia, a little bit more dinner crowd, you know, and then 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock rolls around. You got your beer drinkers out there stomping around. You can kind of play whatever. And, I wrote, my set list probably had, 2 popular covers that everyone knows. You know, I did a Johnny Cash song and then, that Heart of Glass. But kind of have to cater to the crowd a little bit, to, you know, in a sense.
That's what entertainment's about.
Mm-hmm.
That's our focus here is we want the guests to have a great time, and we refer to almost everyone as guest in our culture. We don't want people to be called customer. That's really transactional. Mm-hmm. Guests stay and hang out. I know with the show you helped us put on, Michael, that was very family oriented day. It was pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, my kid was out here running around.
Yeah, a lot of kids. Also, you know, just people haven't seen each other in a while.
Yeah.
In that music scene. And it starts with the artist and how we treat them, not messing around with them, and making sure we're detailed on the writers and the hospitality factor, the space that they have.
It goes a long way because, you know, if one band had a bad time, they tell their friends that, you know, oh, I had a bad time with that band. Oh, you're playing there? Man, when we were there, blah, blah, blah happened. You know,
yeah. So if musicians had a Yelp page, we'd want it
a
to
report
be
card.
5 stars. Because if they're 5 stars, the people are going to enjoy it for sure.
Yeah.
So, what do you think is, as far as artists that are out there now, like, do you listen to modern music, Jake? Or
Yeah, definitely.
who's moving your soul, dude?
Well, I mean, when I first discovered the alternative country music scene, I was listening to like Tyler Childers and Coulter Wall, Sturgill Simpson and stuff, but it's gotten so broad at this point. It would be really hard for me to name everything that I listen to.
It seems like that genre in specific is very much growing.
Yeah, absolutely.
What do you think? What is the heartland of that? Is it Nashville, or is there another place on the country that's?
I'd say the Appalachian area.
So all of them down this mountain.
Yeah, pretty much.
From Virginia down to Tennessee.
Yeah.
Even northern Georgia.
Absolutely. That's where it. Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
this is definitely the heart of it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then you got your like styles that have picked from it. You know, another place, the Ozarks, out in Montana. Montana has a hell of a scene, man. An awesome bluegrass scene. But,
Michael, you travel further around the country than I have, obviously. What did you see there? Like, what are like these really cool pockets that maybe, Jake could reach out to, or maybe, if I'm looking for artists that maybe frequent that and want to get them into our home here in Winchester?
Well, I think I could help you out there with that a good bit,
Yeah.
But I mean, even like, so Montana, for example, like, it's pretty spacious. There's a lot of land to cover there. There's a lot of emptiness. There's a lot of beauty. There's a lot of cool people, small towns. Kitchen Dwellers comes to mind right off the get. They're an awesome bluegrass band. And we did a tour with them for a little while, but even before I was on the road with them, I was a fan, and who's he touring? They're doing a tour right now with Daniel Donato, actually, who we just had them at Brightbox on Sunday. Yeah, Kitchen Dwellers are great. And then out in the Ozarks, you mentioned Nick Shoulders. Yeah. It's, I feel like that whole, obviously like bluegrass is like the whole Appalachian area. This is like our home. It's like our home base, but it stems to other places and other people pick like anything else. Like you go down to New Orleans. Like New Orleans has their own style of music, and there's so many different influences from so many different places. I've definitely made a handful of connections traveling around. Pacific Northwest, great scene. Oregon. Washington, even like Arcata, Northern California, Maine up northeast, Vermont has an awesome scene. Just kind of like finding those little, there's some new kids coming out too, like some younger people that are just kind of doing the exact same thing that you're doing, just putting out like content covers. And I wish that there was like, I mean, it's not too late, but I wish I had that when I was 15, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I guess I never put myself out there that much, but that's like, you're doing it, man. I think that's the move. There's so many new kids coming out now that just like putting stuff out there, and it's like, you catch them when they have like 200 followers, and then you check them back out in 2 months, go to show a friend, and you're like, holy shit, they have 20,000 followers now. Like, that happened fast, and just getting to know them at a young age and trying to like, just help them out too. I think that's a big thing that I learned in the music industry is there's like, it's like, it's my life, and there's so much cutthroat that it like, I feel like I've always been a nice guy, and I've gotten stabbed pretty hard from people who are like, I've considered to be family, or I looked up to, and I'd go to them for questions, and they would be like, no, don't talk to them, or don't work with that venue. And I'd be like, okay, I listen to you because you've been doing it longer than me. And the next thing you know, they're doing my idea, and then they're getting all the praise, and, so I don't know, there's just so much. And I think my biggest thing was like, we're all in the same boat. We're all trying to shoot for the same thing here. Like it should be a win-win for everybody. Like if you're going to come up, you should bring them with you, if like, stop all this, like stomping on each other's heads to get to the next place. Like you guys opening up next, like here downtown, this is a sweet venue, and I'm stoked for this, man. Like I've been living in Winchester my whole life, and like what's happening now and how it's growing is what I wish was going on 10 years ago when I first started. There was like nothing here. I had to fight to get like the most basic ideas to like the city, and they'd shut me down. And like now you have Railroad Earth coming up for free downtown soon, and I'm like, that's crazy to me, I love it. It's beautiful. I think it's fantastic.
We were speaking this morning with WFRE, did a show with them, and they were just talking about, around the Mid-Atlantic, especially in the places that you all are speaking of where great music comes from, they're surrounded by nature. And nature really, I think, for me, presents a lot of peace and creative energy. I'm always really at peace and have great ideas for business strategy when I'm at the beach or in the wild or whatever. But whenever around your old towns and your cities, when art is influential, both in like visual art as well as performance art, the vitality of the urban centers or those, suburban centers are improved in an economic way. So it's all kind of related. If you look, with our the artwork on the flags that hang throughout Old Town that are done by local artists, or now they're doing parking spots and things like that. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of really cool murals out. Those are things that you look at and it kind of makes you feel a certain way. So that's really great that Winchester's.
Yeah, it sparks your interest too,
Yeah,
it or influences you to do something, maybe not similar, but try to it can even just be like rubbing elbows with those people. It's like I always thought that'd be kind of cool to do that, and you meet the person doing it, and then now you're like influenced or got to meet them, and they kind of show you the ropes or like give you a hand to do the same thing, and yeah,
absolutely.
Cool. Sorry for rambling.
No, you're not rambling, dude. You're doing great. And one thing not to forget, Michael, is that Bill Withers didn't get a record until in his late 30s.
No doubt, dude. That's like a story I hold near and dear.
And Sturgill had to quit a really good job to go into the place that he's at. I absolutely love his music. Or you could just take the Hanson Michael Jackson route. So you got to be careful over there, Jake. You don't want to change your face in 20 years or go down a crazy rabbit hole of fame. So you talked about your mother, Eric. She played guitar, right?
My grandmother.
Her grandmother, even better.
Yep. So his great grandma.
Yeah. Oh, cool.
Yep.
You wrote your first song on your great grandmother's guitar?
No. I wrote my first song on my second guitar.
Yeah. We got him a new guitar for Christmas the following year.
Yeah. Okay.
Something a little newer,
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah.
That's cool. Do you ever break it out, the older one? Or?
No, it's just in my closet, being protected. Because it's already got like an arrow in it for some reason.
Sure, of course.
Can't be trusted in my room, out and about.
You can hang it up on the wall or something, dude. For sure. Is there things that you want to share with our listeners? Any sort of, how to find you, where to share your music, what you're looking for in performances upcoming, even if they're not at the Monument. This is not exclusive to us, but where they can find you.
Really anywhere around here, around Winchester. I play in Strasburg sometimes, Bentonville. I play all over this area.
Well, any particular
what do you got coming up?
Oh, well, the one here, of course,
right.
On August 6th with Goodbye June.
Next Friday's at
next Friday.
What's it called?
Robert. No. Next Friday. What is next Friday?
Martinsburg.
Yeah, Bad Habits Bar and Grill in Martinsburg.
Bad Habits.
Are you performing for the late night adults?
Yeah, I think
awesome.
so.
Cool. That's gotta flip them out a little bit. You know what I'm saying?
I think it does.
Yeah.
I think it does.
That probably helps you a lot, man. It's hard to dislike someone that's young and talented, that's as humble and nice as you are, dude. You know.
Do you put a tip jar at all? That's what I would do.
I do put a tip jar out
sometimes.
Hell yeah.
I remember playing a show when I was in that punk band, and we were like there was some like venues around here that would host like, like that era, it was all like emo and stuff, like high school bands, but we were like super crusty and playing with like decent like East Coast hardcore bands. I was the youngest one in that band. I was 15. Everyone was like 19 and ignored me. And I remember playing this like weird, it had to be a legal bar in Baltimore. It was super sketchy. But when we got up on stage, everybody was like throwing beers, like talking shit. Who are these little kids, And like first song, Pit broke out. I had like a wireless cable. I'm in there singing my guitar around too, like just going hard. And after that song, everyone was like, "Who the fuck are these kids?" Like hyping about it, and they like wanted us back like every year.
That's awesome, man.
Like I love that shit, man.
Good times.
Yeah, that's why I hope at some point, like you got to form yourself a band and plug up just to see what happens. What is your favorite like heavy music? Do you always just stay in like your world? You seem like a very reserved person.
Yeah, I mean, all right. So I listen to mostly country music. That's just my thing, really. It's the basis of everything that I am, really. But like, I like Goose.
You like Goose?
Yeah,
those are my dogs, dude.
Yeah,
yeah, right on.
I went to one of their shows with my friend. It was the 9:30 Club in September March.
Yeah,
that was a great time.
I don't know Goose, man.
Goose.
You should listen to Goose.
Yeah, they're one of those bands too. Before they blew up, I was like, everyone needs to. I feel like if there's one thing I'm gonna be cocky about, if I catch a band at a young age, and I'm like, they're up fucking next, you know?
Yeah.
It's like never fails me, dude. They end up doing something. They were one of them. Like I caught them a long time ago. They've been together for a while. Back when they still had now they have their percussionist started playing drums too. But back when they had Aaron on perks, yeah, I've known those guys for a long time. I was like, you need to keep an eye out for them, man. They're up next. I talked to my buddy who used to live here, Zach Thayer. Shout out Zach with Valley Fusion Festival. But he used to throw this little festival. He had it downtown, and then he moved it down to Cape and Bridge. But he was looking for a headliner for a while, and he was like stuck on this one band. Like he announced the festival, but had like the headliner in question marks, you know. And he's like telling me who he wanted and what they were asking for, and like I'm not gonna like tell anybody no, but I was like, man, I don't really think they're gonna draw, but not like that much worse, you know what I mean? I was like, you should check these guys out. And he's like, really? I'm like, dude, I'm telling you, check them out. And he got them for like less than what that other band was asking for. Look at them now, dude. There's no, and they brought all the crowd. You know? There's no way you're gonna book them in tiny little Cave and Bridge now. You know, like those guys are huge. They just sell out. What is it in New York? Trey and Anastasio sat in with them from Fish. Radio City, yeah.
So Goose, what kind of music is this?
Same thing as like Pigeons. They did two tours with Pigeons, the band that I was with. It's like I don't know. They're definitely more in like the
Mr. Grizz.
No, these guys are like jam meets like they're like definitely still in that kind of like indie popish side though too. Like I could hear their music on the radio, you know, not sounding negative. Like that doesn't mean anything. That's great, you know. Like Goose is just really good, really clean. Yeah. All of them are phenomenal players, great vocals. Ben, the drummer, is my boy. Yeah, just good fucking people, good band.
Right on.
They're Northeast.
Anything you want to talk about that's upcoming in the community, the region? I don't know much about the festival scene in Virginia, West Virginia. What's happening in regards to that?
There's definitely some festivals going on. I kind of fell out of the festival scene anymore. Like having a kid, I can't really. I don't know. I mean, I guess I've had the offers to go back out on the road from a couple different bands. My kid's so young, man. I'm trying to watch him grow up a little bit. You know, you're gone for months at a time. But for me, I'm playing next Friday upstairs at Bright Box with some friends from the New England area. Ben Richard, Hollow Turtle, Megan Casey, the Latchkey Boys, and then Jeremy Kogel. He's a local guy too, hell of a player. He's a good songwriter too, man. You should check him out. He builds like the suitcase, like kick drum, snare, and plays. Oh yeah. Good dude. Yeah, that's next Friday upstairs at Bright Box. I don't really have too many shows for me lined up, honestly, except for what I have going on here, and then
for sure. Yeah, I think we're going to work together well.
Yeah.
In the next couple of years, and I see that happening. And Jody is like, so when I dropped over this side of the mountain, as they say, so all I've done is work in the DMV and Northern Virginia, DC. I had 10 days to get ready for an event here on December 4th, and that's where I met Jody and so on. They saw that we were serious about our operations and how we execute big events. And then we just kind of met, talked about music, and I think we both have the same desire. I think there's really cool talent buyers. I don't think he understands he's a talent buyer, but he is. And talent buyer, Huff is a talent buyer. It's a weird term. What is there an alternate term used for that?
I don't know. It sucks because as a musician
Sounds
myself, I'm like, I hate it. Like I hate negotiating. I hate the art of negotiating. Like
It is difficult.
Like I want the best for everyone, man.
Have
So-
you had a rider yet, Jake?
Have I had a what?
A rider.
You ever asked for anything crazy, specific, like a certain color of M&Ms, or like?
No.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
No.
Okay. So there's a technical rider, which is everything that you require from the house for sound and lights and stage. Specifications or how,
My stuff gooses right here.
That's one, right? So technical. Then number 2, a hospitality rider. So that's how many hotels you might need, where your bus needs to be, does it need shore power, whatever the case. The other aspects of the rider is contractual obligations to perform, and then there's a lot of disclaimers in there, acts of God, things like that could help me as a venue not take a loss, help the band not to take a loss as well. There's a lot that can go sideways. So I would advise you, as boring as it might be, when you're doing your history research, take a break and look at contracts and understand that, or have someone with you that's good at understanding contracts. Do you understand how the record business will front you money, but it's not really a front? So that's how it works. I was really obsessed with this for a while, right? So they will say X. They'll say, I'll give you X money. Maybe it's 10 grand, 15 grand, 20 grand, whatever. And say, hey, go on the road. But that's not your money. You've got to earn that money back in a recoup situation. And then you have to be careful with your licensing, publishing rights, your management fees. Make sure you're getting all your merchandise. Here at Mine, we won't ever take merchandise money from anybody. Some venues will do that.
Some venues take a lot.
Yeah. We pretty much want to get a small percent of door to cover some fixed costs that we have. And beyond that, we're going to make money on food and beverage. I don't know if that's a smart idea, but it seems like the best idea so far. And so far it's working for us in that regard. But if that was one piece of advice I would say. This is the path God put you on, and that's where you're going to end up business-wise. One day, you have to respect the business side of it. It's your art, your integrity, protecting what you've developed, created all these years. And make sure venues don't mess with you. And we're always here. Christy and I are learning about it every day. Our our success is based on expertise in it. And one thing, we were definitely humble enough to reach out to people with experience. Michael has, and Josh, and others. With Bull Run events, they help us with some of those national acts as well. Just getting all that information and not ever being like, I have the answer.
Yeah.
And being quiet. When people tell you stuff, even if you already know it, don't say I know. Because then just listen. 2 things will happen. 1, they'll stop telling you stuff. And that sucks. Or 2, they'll basically create a different opinion of you. The know-it-all stuff. So, and you don't want to miss good information. Information's key. Do y'all have anything else you want to plug or talk about today, guys?
No, that was well said.
I have a lot.
Curfew.
Extra 3 hours for it.
Yeah.
I'll get you my podcast. We'll do another one.
Yeah. We have karaoke every Thursday night, Jake, so if you want to stick around and wow some of the... Oh, I want to ask you this question. How are the ladies so far, man?
I've been asking him this question.
Yeah, are they approaching you? Are they flirting with you? Any numbers given to you? Adult women, etc. I don't know. It's gonna happen, bro.
I feel like it's probably more adult women than it is not adult women.
Oh, your mom's gonna love that.
She's gonna love that.
She's gonna love that.
She didn't. It was at that Little Water Bridge Band show. It was yeah. That was fun. That was not fun actually. That was kind of odd.
Yeah,
I was just trying to buy a CD, and this
yeah, man, it's gonna happen, bud.
Yeah,
just be cautious with that.
Did you get an acapella by chance? I never heard you sing. I'm really curious.
Yeah, I guess I should have let you bring the guitar in, dude. I usually we just want to do this as a format with open discussion.
I almost brought mine for shits and
I haven't
giggles.
had a performer in here.
Because
there was one back here somewhere. I don't know where it went.
give me that 4 tom, I'll play something.
Yeah. All right, man. Thanks a lot for y'all coming out.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. This is No Concessions Sessions, It's on Spotify, and we do a clip on YouTube. So depending on how long, the format is, we'll put it like 10, 20 minutes or whatever. Curfew's doing a great job with that, putting it out there for us.
Yeah.
So when it comes out, just share it with your friends and let them know what's up. And,
absolutely.
I'm
Thank
sure
you for having us.
after the 6th, we'll work together to get you in. Obviously, you got some stuff coming up. And if you ever want to perform at Ellie's Pub, if you're looking for like an easy gig, we love having music on that side, as well as another concept we're building right now. We'll have music and entertainment there all the time. So, cool stuff.
Sounds good.
Really appreciate you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks for
No
having us.
concessions sessions.
Yes, sir.
Close us out.
Nice. That's the theme song. Good luck.